Okay, folks, I just got like a few minutes in the morning doing overtime, whatever, but wanted to clarify or clear up some things real quick. When I talk about stuff that I'm not willing to talk about, or things that I don't really want to be made to points of discussion, where I work, where I live, just gonna put that out there. And I'm wanting to get that stuff myself for reasons that, if you're above a certain age, you're working, you're living your life, like, kind of stuff that I don't think really needs to be explained. This channel is kind of like I get that this term has probably been overused in the past, but it's like a safe space for myself where I can go and talk about things that are incredibly personal to me. And if other folks want to talk about things that are incredibly personal to them, they can do that. But, on this channel, or have a dialogue about that. But, it's sort of like the confidentiality thing. Like, you go to a therapist or you go to like a psychiatrist or so, a doctor, like, they are bound by law to keep that stuff, confidential. Keep it to themselves, keep the records, secured away, that sort of thing. For reasons that, you really shouldn't have to explain it to anybody who has, even a basic modicum of social intelligence. You don't gotta be a genius to understand why people don't really want to put that stuff out there. It's like similar to if someone maybe has, your unpopular opinion or air quotes controversial opinion about certain issues. Like, you don't want to be, you want to be able to express yourself, assuming that it's not in some sort of manner that's threatening or, makes you an actual danger or a threat to society or what have you. But at the same time, like, you want to be able to, maintain your anonymity. For reasons that if you have to work for a living, if you got to support yourself, if you're a W-2 employee or even a 1099er, like, it can make your life difficult, if not impossible to live. And, maybe this is something I should have kind of expected that I was going to have to discuss eventually, just because, like, I put no fap in most of my video titles. And as much as I appreciate the NoFap community, I definitely think that they're trying to address a real problem. And NoFap is kind of, a thing for me. I mean, it's like kind of passe in some ways, but, it does seem like, I think it's something that Dark Magician has pointed out in the past, and by the way, like, for folks like him or, Alex, who have, provided like helpful, feedback or, or support that has, perspectives on things that's actually had a really, positive effect on my life. I appreciate those folks. But yeah, the NoFap community does tend to attract, a certain kind of individual when it comes to sort of the extremes, where they're, they think it's like the end all be all, or additionally, maybe it's because most of the folks involved in it are guys and they're younger guys. Just those folks who don't seem to understand what's overly personal or inappropriate question to ask. Trying to sort of communicate the fact that people want to keep certain things private, not because they're really hiding anything, but because you require anonymity to be able to express yourself these days in society, unless you, unless you're on the extreme ends of the socioeconomic scale, unless you have so much money and so many connections that nothing's gonna, affect you. You'll be able to call up your buddy so-and-so and, get out of, a bad spot, or if you have absolutely nothing to lose. And if you're anywhere in between that, you have to protect yourself from the negative consequences of, expressing a not dangerous to society, but just, not even a controversial opinion, but just like stuff about your personal life that, you know, it's like you have to sort of cultivate a certain persona in society, and if people like find out certain things about you, like it can just make life difficult to the point that maybe you won't be able to have your job, maybe you won't be able to make money. And you know, it's like I want to vent things just like everybody does. I want to, like, you know, get support, get things off my chest, you know, be able to talk about my actual opinions on things and all that sort of deal. But I think it's been a sort of a side of, or maybe a reason why I've had this sort of like, you know, back and forth about making this channel take off or making money off of it, because you know, that brings sort of the spotlight onto you once you start going up there, and you know, in terms of subscriber numbers and whatnot. But you know, until or unless I become independently wealthy and I'm thus able to express, you know, my opinion on things, you know, to the fullest and whatnot, and I don't think I'd want to make money off of, you know, my private life, you know, like some folks seem to want to do these days. But yeah, it's just something I just don't really want to go into. And if anybody keeps asking those kinds of questions, I mean, I'll start, you know, obviously, like, no disrespect, nothing personal per se, but I'll start deleting comments, and eventually I'll have to block people. I don't want it to get to that point. I think the first time maybe it gets asked, it's like an innocent question, maybe the person just doesn't, you know, get, maybe I need to like redo my intro video and, like, you know, put some sort of disclaimer in my description or something like that, just to make it clear, so I'm doing my due diligence. But yeah, that's the way things will go, and about to go into work now. So anyways, that's it. That's what I want to talk about. See you folks on the flip side, hopefully. Okay, thanks for watching, and thanks for your understanding. Bye bye.